It's with actions that you start the path of change in your life, not with just good intention. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Small actions. When you start doing things repeatedly, even small things, something magical happens. It compounds. A small gig here, an opportunity there, one conversation that leads to another. This can create a chain reaction of amazing things. And that's exactly how I've seen it happen in my own life as well. It may seem like magic, but there's actually a scientific reason for this. Our brains start looking for paths to find these opportunities. So maybe a conversation that wouldn't have grabbed your attention here before now has a new light. You start noticing possibilities that were always there, but you couldn't see them because your brain wasn't primed to look for them. So when I started freelancing, I wasn't landing big projects right away, but each small project I sent, each tiny interaction with a potential client, each small yes I got, they built on each other. One client recommended me to another. One small project led to a bigger one. And the confidence I gained from completing one task made me brave enough to pitch to the next person. That's the power of repetition. It rewires your self-image. Even though imposter syndrome can take over during different periods in our lives, when we repeat small actions over and over and over, we can shut down that critical voice more and more each time because we prove it wrong with our repeated small actions that keep compounding. Every time you do the thing you'd say you do, you are sending a message to your brain. Actually, I am someone who follows through. Every time you take a small courageous action, you're proving, actually, I am someone who takes action despite fear. So your brain starts to update this story about who you are based on your evidence, the new evidence that you keep giving it. And if you're still watching to this point and you're following the course, can you please consider subscribing to this channel? And if you've done that already, can you please also hit the like button on this video? It will help me very much to keep creating content like this. And this brings us to how progress compounds into courage. And it's quite different from how most people see it, really. We're not aiming for big leaps, we're aiming for small, increasing steps that at times might feel big, but they're actually compounding from the back of our small achievements that have grown. Think of it like compound interest, okay? But for confidence. Each small action doesn't just add to your courage, it multiplies it. Because each success makes the next challenge feel more manageable. And here's a line that I want you to remember. When courage compounds, taking chances stops being a gamble and it starts becoming an experiment. Instead of, will this destroy me? You start thinking, what will I learn from this? Instead of risking everything, you're just testing to see what happens. When you have that experimental mindset, something beautiful happens. Even when things don't go exactly as planned. You are still collecting evidence that you can handle uncertainty, evidence that you can recover from disappointment, evidence that taking action, even imperfect action, moves you forward faster than staying stuck. This is why I keep emphasizing over and over and over, small actions, small actions. It's not because small actions are the goal, it's because small actions build the courage muscle you need for bigger actions later. So here's what I want you to do right now. Think back through your life and write down 3 specific times where repetition grew your confidence. This can be from any area: school, work, relationships, hobbies, sports, anything. For each example, write down, what was the small action you repeated? How did it feel the first time versus the 10th time? What changed in how you saw yourself? Maybe it was learning to drive, which is terrifying the first time behind the wheel, but after dozens of practice sessions, you kind of become confident on the road, right? Maybe it was speaking up in meetings, your heart started pounding the first time, but after doing it repeatedly, you became known as someone with valuable insights. And maybe it was posting on social media. It doesn't matter what it is, there's always something that you did repeatedly and you started doing consistently that built up that courage. So write this down, look at the pattern, and see how repetition transformed not just your skills, but your identity. What you'll notice in every example is that the same pattern. That was the first time, it was scary, but you survived. The second time was still uncomfortable, but slightly easier. And by the 10th time, it felt normal. And on the 20th time, you couldn't even imagine that it used to scare you before. And that's the power of compound courage in action. Now, I know you might be wondering, okay, I understand how small actions build confidence, but how do I know which actions to focus on? How do I make sure I'm building momentum in the right direction and not just stay busy? That's exactly what we're covering in the next video. I'm going to show you how to actually tackle freelancing as a science experiment, a systematic approach, and testing, learning, and building your freelance career without the overwhelm or fear of making the wrong choice. Because there's a big difference between productive action and just staying busy. And in the next video, you'll learn all of these things. So I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for watching this one, and much love.